Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sipniewski, your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by my channel. Please know this is not financial advice. I am only here to entertain you and to remind you to buy on red candles. Now, having said that, not every red candle is equal. This doesn't mean just because something's red, it's a signal to buy. And of course, we're talking about Pepe and why I wouldn't touch this token now, ever. And of course, it's because of the dirty thing that the developer did by stealing those tokens and selling them off on the exchanges. Now, I know a lot of you are clinging to hopium. You got that FOMO. You think that, you know what? I've watched other people doing some technical analysis with Pepe, and this is a very bullish flag. But let me just give you some facts, and then you can decide for yourself whether or not you think Pepe is actually going to do anything, keeping in mind everything that the dev has already done to you. Let us go over to Dex Tools. Now, this is the chart, chart not looking good. I want you to focus on these numbers, okay? And I'm talking about the liquidity and I'm talking about the 24-hour volume. So we see the liquidity right now is 8.25 million. But if you come down to here to the 24-hour volume, and of course, all of this is on the decentralized, it has nothing to do with what is going on the many exchanges that Pepe is held on. The 24-hour volume is over $4 million. And I think that number is deceptive. So if we look at Dex tools, we come down and we see all of this. Okay. Look at the sea of red. These are people dumping. And when we come down, you see this little yellow thing right here. That's bot activity. Those are bots going in there, buying and selling. And that is where that $4 million of volume is coming from. But to me, the most important aspect is going to be that liquidity. When I made my first video on Pepe after the dev had already dumped a ton of tokens, the liquidity was in the area of $10 million. So $2 million has been siphoned off the liquidity. Now, maybe you're one of the people who purchased their Pepe on these huge green candles. Maybe that was you, and now you're all the way down here. So you're like, oh my bag is already so low. I'm either one, you have three decisions, right? Are you going to sell? Are you going to hold? Are you going to dollar cost average into your position? Those are your three options when it comes to Pepe. Now, I think the reason why this holder count still remains to be very high is because a lot of you are like, I'm just going to hold. I'm in the Pepe community. I love the Pepe community, and I'm just going to hold it for a lottery ticket, just in case it comes back and I can make my money back or maybe even get into some profits, which would be absolutely wonderful. The thing that I don't like is that when you go over to X and you expect to see some communication from the dev, especially since what happened, right? Especially since you guys got completely dumped on. And by the way, it took a few days for the dev to scrape together some words to explain to us exactly what happened. Since then, there's only just been like a few pictures of frogs posted. If that were my project and I wanted the holders to have confidence that this was an actual project that we are going to build on and everything is going to be okay and there's a future for Pepe, I would be posting a lot more than just pictures. And of course, this picture got posted because he's alluding to that one of the wallet numbers has a 69 in it. And isn't that funny? No, I don't think anything is funny that happened with this community at all. Keeping in mind that 130 something thousand people still hold Pepe, that doesn't necessarily make that true. It's 130 wallets. We don't know how many of those wallets belong to the development team. Are they continuing to sell? Are they continuing to dump? All we know is the information that we have. Yes, it's still on a bunch of exchanges because there's people out there that want to believe that Pepe is going to come back. It's a big community. Like It's on a lot of exchanges. The community seems to love this token. Here's the thing that you need to know. When it comes to meme coins, cryptocurrency land is always going to be a thing of, what have you done for me lately? There's always going to be a new token launched. There's always going to be a new community built. That's why I think it's late for Pepe. Even though it's on all of these different exchanges, I'm looking at the key numbers. I'm looking at that liquidity slowly being drained by bot activity. And I know the majority of people are holding it because they bought in at prices significantly higher than it is right now. So you need to make a decision. Are you holding for the lottery ticket effect? Or are you one of those people that's even dollar cost averaging ins? If you go over to Dex Tools, there are still little buys happening by average regular holders. And that's because they have a dream of, hey, I can buy $500 worth of a token and one day become a millionaire. It's the Shiba Inu dream that we all cling to. I understand why you're doing it. I feel your pain. But I don't think that's gonna happen with this token. Keeping in mind how deceitful and deceptive the development team was when it came to everything that was going on with those stolen tokens, they're not communicating here. And after all, what is the utility of Pepe? It is simply a community token. That's it. Are you happy with just being in a community and that's it? In order for Pepe to reach back to its all-time highs, you'd have to get so many more holders into Pepe. And I think we've seen, a plateauing off of the number of holders there. And again, the number of wallets holding it doesn't necessarily represent holder over on the DeFi side. It just means that one person can have a few thousand different wallets. We've seen this happen over and over again where the devs between themselves have a few thousand wallets and they're going to continue to sell off, draining that liquidity pool. You're basically their exit liquidity, right? They've already gotten super wealthy on Pepe. So now they're like, this token now belongs to you, the community. It's a community token, power to the people. But what exactly does that mean? Is community utility? Of course it's not. There's always going to be a new token. Saitama was the big token. Now this is a big token. And a few months down the line, there's going to be another token. And all of them always end up the same. They have this big, huge pump that draws in the vast number of community members. And ultimately, that chart just continues to dump and dump and dump. And the only people who get wealthy are the ones that were smart enough to get in very early and take their profits at the all-time high. The wealth never gets distributed to the people who bought in at all-time highs and just watch their money drain. I just have to, I've been in cryptocurrency long enough to see this. It's a pattern. It happens over and over again. And once a development team does you dirty, how can you ever trust them again? I think trust is very hard to reestablish once you're injured by them. I really don't think it's possible. That's why even though there's other people doing technical analysis with this chart telling you now a floor is here, now's the time to buy in, I'm not buying it. I don't think that you can do technical analysis with a token like this when the development team has already showed you who they are. And when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Well, that's going to do it here for me today. I thank you so much for joining me. And remember, buy on red candles, but not all of them.